Hey everyone! Welcome to the Chill English channel. I'm Sophia, and with me, as always, is Jake.
Hey guys, before we start, please subscribe to our channel and hit that like button. It really helps us keep making more English lessons for you.
Thanks so much. So today, we're talking about one of the most enjoyable and powerful ways to improve your English by watching movies.
Yeah, most learners think movies are only for fun, but they can actually be one of the best learning tools out there if you know how to use them the right way.
That's so true. Movies give you real English, the way people actually speak in everyday life. You hear natural pronunciation, rhythm, slang, and the emotion behind the words.
And you get to experience language in context. You see the situation, the tone, and the expressions all working together, which makes it much easier to understand how English really works.
Exactly. When you watch a movie, you're not just listening to words. You're training your brain to hear connected speech, intonation, and the natural music of English.
Right. That's something most textbooks can't teach. They focus on rules and perfect sentences, but real English is full of emotion, pauses, and rhythm. Movies help you get used to that.
And here's the cool part. When you enjoy what you're watching, your brain learns faster. That's called emotional memory. If you feel something, you remember it more easily.
Yeah, like when you watch a powerful scene in The Lion King and Mufasa says, "Remember who you are." You don't just memorize the line, you feel it. That emotion locks the phrase into your memory.
Exactly. And later, when you hear it again somewhere else, it feels familiar. That's how your brain builds connections, through emotion, not just repetition.
And it's not just about memory. Movies also help you understand how expressions change depending on tone. For example, "Are you serious?" can sound angry, surprised, or funny, depending on how it's said.
Right. That's what makes watching movies such a natural way to learn. You pick up pronunciation, emotion, and meaning all at once, just like native speakers do.
But there's a small secret. Just watching isn't enough. A lot of learners say, "I watch English movies all the time, but I don't improve." The truth is, it's not about how much you watch, it's about how you watch.
Exactly. Passive watching, just sitting there and reading subtitles, doesn't train your brain much. But if you pay attention, repeat phrases, and listen carefully, your skills start to grow.
You can actually turn every movie into a free English teacher. Each line gives you examples of how to speak naturally, how to react, and how to use expressions in real situations.
And it's not only language you're learning. Movies show you culture, how people behave, what they find funny, how they express feelings, or even how they disagree politely.
Yeah, that's what helps you sound natural later. You stop translating from your own language and begin to think directly in English. That's when you know real progress is happening.
So when you're watching, don't just focus on words. Listen to the tone, watch the body language, and notice when people pause or emphasize certain words. That's what makes your English alive.
Totally. And remember, the best part of this method is that it doesn't feel like studying. You're learning while relaxing, having fun, and enjoying great stories.
Right. You can sit back with your popcorn and still be improving your vocabulary, listening skills, and even pronunciation without opening a grammar book.
And that's what we love about learning with movies. It's fun, natural, and incredibly effective when you do it with attention and curiosity.
So, if you want English that sounds real and confident, start by choosing a movie you love. Watch it carefully and treat it as your classroom.
Once you see English as part of the story, not just a subject to study, learning becomes a completely different experience.
Exactly. And that's when things start to change, when English becomes part of what you enjoy every single day. So, now that we've talked about why movies are great for learning, let's go into how to actually use them to improve your English. There's a simple method I always recommend to my students.
Yeah, it's all about being active, not passive. Instead of just watching and reading subtitles, you need to turn every movie into a little English workshop.
Exactly. Step 1 is choosing the right movie. Pick something you already enjoy and maybe even know the story of. That makes it easier to focus on the language instead of trying to follow a confusing plot.
True. For example, if you've already watched Harry Potter in your own language, try watching it in English. You'll understand what's happening so you can focus more on pronunciation and expressions.
Step 2. Use subtitles smartly. Start with English subtitles, not your native language. That way, your brain connects the sounds you hear with the words you read.
And don't worry if you don't understand every word. The goal isn't to catch everything, it's to train your ears. Understanding grows naturally over time.
Right. When you hear a phrase that catches your attention, maybe something that sounds natural or funny, pause the movie. Write it down, repeat it aloud, and try to copy the actor's tone.
That's called shadowing. You listen and repeat right after the character, matching their rhythm and pronunciation as closely as possible. It feels a bit strange at first, but it's super effective.
Totally. It helps you sound more natural and confident. And it's fun, too. You get to act out movie scenes while learning English.
Another tip is to watch short scenes instead of full movies. Choose a 2 or 3 minute part and really focus on it. Watch it several times. Each time, you'll notice new words and sounds.
I love that technique. The first time, you just listen and enjoy. The second time, you follow the subtitles carefully. The third time, you repeat the key lines. By the fourth, you'll almost know them by heart.
And that's real progress. You're not memorizing vocabulary lists. You're learning language that lives inside a story, full of emotion and meaning.
You can even create your own mini dictionary from movies. Write down useful phrases like, "That makes sense," "You've got to be kidding me," or "I'm not sure about that." Then practice using them in your own sentences.
Yeah, because when you reuse phrases, your brain keeps them active. You don't forget them after a day, they become part of your speaking habit.
Another helpful step is to watch with different focus each time. One day, focus on pronunciation, another day, focus on new vocabulary, and another on intonation and emotion.
That's brilliant. It keeps learning interesting and you're improving different skills without even realizing it.
Also, don't forget to listen for how actors connect words. Native speakers often link sounds together, like want to becoming wanna, or going to becoming gonna. Hearing that naturally helps your listening a lot.
Yeah, those little details are the secret to understanding fast speech. Textbooks rarely teach that, but movies show it all the time.
And if you're serious about improving, try to repeat short clips daily. Even 5 minutes a day is enough if you do it with focus. Consistency beats watching one full movie once a week without paying attention.
I completely agree. It's better to study small parts deeply than big parts carelessly. Think quality over quantity.
You can even record yourself saying lines from the movie. Then play it back and compare your pronunciation with the actors. It's a great way to spot small differences and improve your accent.
I've used that with students, and it works amazingly well. When they hear themselves, they suddenly notice what needs fixing. It builds self-awareness and confidence.
Another little trick, try changing the subtitles from English to your native language only after you've watched a scene a few times. Then check if you understood it correctly. It's a fun way to test yourself.
Exactly. It keeps you active and curious. And if something confuses you, don't rush to translate. First, try to guess the meaning from the situation or body language.
Because that's what real communication is like. You don't need to understand every single word. You just need to understand the message.
Right. And when you start thinking that way, your confidence goes up fast. You stop fearing unknown words because you can still follow the story.
That's when you know you're improving, when you're not translating in your head anymore. You just feel the meaning and respond naturally.
Watching movies this way makes learning English creative and exciting. You're not just listening, you're exploring language in its real environment.
Exactly. It's like living inside English for a while, hearing how it sounds, how it feels, and how people really use it every day.
And that's the real magic of using movies for learning. You start to sound more natural, understand faster, and enjoy the process all at once.
So grab your favorite movie, open your notebook, and start experimenting with these techniques. You'll be surprised how quickly your listening and speaking start improving. Now that you know how to watch movies smartly, let's talk about how to actually turn that learning into real speaking skills. Watching is only part of the process. The next step is using what you've learned.
That's right. Many learners get stuck because they understand English when listening, but they can't speak it naturally. Movies can help you bridge that gap if you follow a few simple steps.
Step 1 is repetition. Don't just watch a scene once. Replay it multiple times and repeat the lines out loud. Try to match the actor's tone, rhythm, and emotion.
Yeah, shadowing is key here. Listen and speak at the same time, even if it feels strange at first. Your brain will start remembering sentence patterns automatically, so speaking becomes easier later.
Step 2 is improvisation. After repeating lines, try changing them slightly or using them in a different situation. For example, if a character says, "I can't believe you did that," you could say, "I can't believe she said that," or "I can't believe he forgot."
That's an excellent tip. You're basically creating your own sentences using natural English structures from the movie. It's active learning. You're not just memorizing, you're experimenting.
Another important point is pronunciation. Record yourself speaking the lines, then compare it to the actors. Notice the subtle differences in stress, intonation, and connected speech. Even small adjustments make your English sound much more natural.
And don't worry about making mistakes. Learning is about trial and error. The more you practice with movies, the more confident you'll become. Mistakes are just part of the process.
Step 4 is conversation practice. Use the phrases you learn in real situations. For example, you might practice a line from a movie with a friend, or even talk to yourself, describing your day using movie expressions.
That's so effective. When you use what you learned in speaking, your brain solidifies the connection between words and meaning. You start thinking in English instead of translating from your native language.
And here's a fun tip. Act out scenes from your favorite movies. Pretend you're the character. It may feel silly at first, but it's a fantastic way to practice intonation, emotion, and pronunciation.
Absolutely. That also builds confidence. Speaking English naturally isn't just about grammar or vocabulary, it's about feeling comfortable expressing yourself. Acting out scenes gives you that comfort.
Another step is to mix listening and speaking. While watching a movie, pause and try to answer questions the characters might ask. For instance, if someone says, "What are you going to do now?" Pause and respond aloud before hearing the next line.
That's brilliant. It forces you to think quickly in English and respond naturally, just like in real conversations. Over time, your speaking speed improves and you sound more fluent.
And remember, learning with movies isn't only about individual phrases. Pay attention to whole conversations, how ideas flow, how questions are asked, and how emotions are expressed. That's how you start speaking more smoothly.
Right. Real conversations aren't just word-for-word phrases. They have rhythm, emotion, and pauses. Movies are perfect for noticing all of that.
Also, try summarizing a scene in your own words after watching. Describe what happened, what the characters said, and how they felt. Speaking this aloud strengthens your ability to tell stories in English.
And you can take it further by discussing the movie with a friend, teacher, or even in an online group. Using English socially reinforces everything you've learned from the movie.
Another tip is to choose movies with everyday situations, like restaurants, travel, or daily life. Those are the scenes that give you phrases you can immediately use in your own conversations.
Exactly. That makes learning practical. You'll hear, "Could you pass me the salt?" or "I'll meet you at 7," and be ready to use those phrases the next day.
And finally, consistency is key. Even 10 or 15 minutes a day, done actively, is better than one long session once a week. Small, focused practice leads to lasting improvement.
And the beauty is, it never feels like studying. You're enjoying a story, experiencing emotions, and learning English at the same time.
So, to sum it up, turn movie learning into real speaking skills by repeating, improvising, recording yourself, acting out scenes, practicing conversations, and using phrases in daily life.
Yes, and by doing all of that consistently, you'll notice your English becoming more natural, fluent, and confident without forcing yourself to memorize lists or rules.
And remember, movies are your secret classroom. They're everywhere, fun and full of real English waiting for you to explore.
So grab your notebook, pick your favorite film, and start practicing. Every scene, every line, every phrase is a step towards speaking English like a native.
Keep experimenting, keep speaking, and most importantly, enjoy the process. That's what makes learning with movies so powerful.
That's right. Your English will improve and you'll have a lot of fun along the way.
And as always, please, please, please subscribe to our channel if you haven't yet. It really helps us create more lessons and tips like this for you.
All right, everyone. Time to put these techniques into action and make movies a real part of your English learning journey.